Today marks our 20th episode, and with it we start another chapter in the Game & Watch focused segment. Today's offering is a Game & Watch called Parachute, and with it we will kick off our examination of the amazing widescreen series. But let's answer the last episode's brain teaser we like to call What in the World? Okay. You got to see a red and gray control, the word reset is just visible. The Nintendo logo is also visible. Did you know what this was? It was the revised NES console, sometimes called the Top Loader or 101 model, or even the NES Slim. If you played along, I hope you guessed correctly. However, today we will focus our attention on the Game & Watch called Parachute. Released on June 19, 1981. Reportedly selling an incredible 1 million or more units. Given a production code of PR-21, the game, Parachute, was the debut console of the widescreen series. Here we can see a nice representation of how the time, or clock mode looks. Notice that the sprites are animated throughout, including swimming away from the hungry sharks. Ever since the launch of the Gold series, these Game & Watches have been given an alarm option. Interestingly, the sprite rarely has a direct link to the game's title. Here we see a monkey in a palm tree holding a bell. In Game Mode A, skydivers can be seen parachuting down from a double-rotored Chinook helicopter. Below we have shark-infested waters, however we also have a lifeboat, which is able to catch the paratroopers safely before they perish in the ocean. This handheld only has two primary buttons. These controls allows the lifeboat to row left or right while attempting to recover the skydivers before they hit the water. Every successful rescue is rewarded with a single point. When a miss occurs, you'll witness the futile efforts of the paratrooper attempting to swim away from the shark. Sadly, once in the water, the skydiver's fate is sealed. Game Mode A is an enjoyable game, however, as with the majority of the Game & Watches, we find the difficulty increases with time. Here in this game we find the number of skydivers gradually increase. The number of misses is recorded by the head of a shark permanently above the water just below the on-screen word miss. Game Mode B is identical to Game Mode A. The single exception being that occasionally a parachutist on the right-hand side of the screen might get caught up in the trees. They will just swing back and forth while hooked, however they drop swiftly when they become disengaged. The duration of their entanglement varies between dropping almost immediately to seemingly being hung up forever. This makes the game extremely difficult. Equally, the entangled paratrooper seems most likely to fall from the tree when you are probably engaged in saving another skydiver on the other side of the screen. Parachute has a high score maximum of 999, lost lives are returned at 200 and 500 points. The cautions and warnings pages in the instruction booklet remain unchanged from the previous Gold series. As do the viewing angle advice and specifications page offered by Nintendo. Interestingly, the Japanese instructions booklet contained advertisements for their upcoming Game & Watch releases. I find this fascinating, and I'm surprised it did not occur in Western releases. I'm aware the rear of the boxes often showed other Game & Watches. We see in the Japanese instructions booklet the next three in the series of widescreen releases, the games Octopus, Popeye, and Chef. This is how a brand new Parachute Game & Watch would have looked if you'd received it as a birthday or Christmas gift, back in 1981. A few still exist today in a similar unused, or pristine condition. These are highly cherished by the few wealthy collectors able to afford their purchase. Here we see some of the box variants that the Game & Watch Parachute were sold in. We have here Great Britain, Germany, and Nintendo of America. And this selection shows the box art from two Australian variants, and a single French version. Lastly, we have a Belgian version, together with another French variant, and yet another different box art from Nintendo of America. The Game & Watch Parachute received a revisit under the Mini Classic title. These were the key ring-sized, but fully operational replicas of older Game & Watches authorized by Nintendo. Several carded variants exist of this game, and I must say the sky blue case is most dazzling. Takara, by Tomy Arts, also produced a range of Game & Watch key rings. They were amazingly detailed, a small replica of the original handheld, but sadly they were non-functional. If we take a quick look at the various Game & Watch series we covered so far, and compare how Nintendo developed the style and function from one generation to the next, you'll see the improvements they made. With the Gold and Silver series matching in overall dimensions, the only initial notable difference was the addition of the alarm hole, next to the ACL access port on the Gold model. Another slight update between the earlier Silver and the later Gold series is the addition of the screen-colored overlay added to the Gold series that brightens up the gameplay. The rear view of the three models offers some evidence of improvements with each series issued. Notice the Gold series model has a prop, or wire arm, that the Silver series examples did not. To accommodate the arm, you can see that the battery cover had to be relocated on the Gold series to the opposite side from that shown on the Silver series. This addition of a prop of the Gold series also required at least 2 additional screws to firm up the case. You can see evidence of evolution on the widescreen model too, the addition of even more screws, and the slight reposition of the prop, or wire arm to a more central position. It's also worth noting the reversal of the wire arm on the widescreen model from the initial configuration shown here on the Gold series game. The height of the Game & Watch was thought to be just about right, however there was a desire to increase the screen height on the widescreen series. To prevent a taller games console, you'll notice the secondary controls, the Game A and B and Time buttons are relocated to the upper right of the screen. This allows the screen depth to increase considerably. So let's look at some actual measurements. The Gold and Silver series screen was 2.7 centimeters tall, while the widescreen series was 3.3 centimeters tall. Their screen width was 4.2 centimeters for the Gold and Silver series, and 5.4 centimeters across on the widescreen series. The case size overall measurements were 6.3 centimeters high on the Silver and Gold series, and only slightly bigger at 6.7 centimeters high on the widescreen series. However, the width was markedly different, with 9.5 centimeters across for the Silver and Gold consoles, yet 11.2 centimeters across for the widescreen series. The game we're looking at today, called Parachute, got a few cameos, perhaps most notably in the Game Boy Color release of the Game & Watch Gallery 2. With a modern and a classic interpretation, the game is both fun and entertaining. And I'd recommend anyone with the original Color console that's not bought this game to do so. So to wrap things up, I'd like to ask the quiz question. What in the world? We've got a rarity here, so I've allowed a bigger sneak peek than I usually do. Do you know what this Nintendo item is? Answer in the comments if you know what this rarity item is, or join me in our next episode to find out. And that just leaves me to say a sincere big thank you for watching. Feel free to do the usual requests, hit the like button, better still subscribe and follow our channel. However, if you do want to follow us here, hit that alarm button so you don't miss out on new and exciting content. We'll see you next episode, hopefully, where we will enjoy a Mystery Under the Sea adventure episode.